Well guys, here's a review of my Bolt EUV. This review is done after having it 3,000 miles. So I'm going to hit some of the good points, bad points, and indifferent points, and my overall feeling on the car. Hopefully this video will be good. I had one made and it didn't save. I don't know what happened. So we're going to make it again. First thing I'm going to talk about is this black color. I love the color. I also hate the color. This car shows dirt very, very bad. It's not as my Vet or the truck I got that are both black, they don't show dirt as bad as this thing. This thing shows every little speck. It looks like a solid black, but it's actually like a metallic black. I don't have any in the sun right now to show you guys. Sorry, here, let me let my camera catch up. I don't have any in the sun to really show you. Well, I guess I can show you up here. Can't really see the color as good as you should, but it's a really awesome paint. I love the color. It's a great color, but it's very hard to keep clean. You gotta wash it like almost weekly or every other week to keep it actually clean. So that's one issue I have, is keeping it clean. And it also likes to streak and run from every place imaginable. You get a lot of water stored, I guess, around the mirrors that runs down, the door handles, the trim. So you get streaks all over, even when you wash it. This back ridge up here, as you guys can see, it collects up dirt, and it holds the dirt up there, so you get a lot of dirt on the back window, the back deck lid, the back bumper. If you guys really like to keep your car clean, this is going to be a fun one for you guys, because you're always going to be cleaning it. I drive this thing daily for work. It is a 2023. I picked it up 10-4, so I've had it since then. It is now 11/20, so I've had it almost 2 months. So keeping it clean is going to be fun. Next topic I'm going to cover is driving at night. The car actually drives at night very well. The headlights on this thing are actually very bright. I can see very good, so I don't have an issue at night. So that's awesome. So you're seeing at night's good. It does like to collect a lot of bugs though. Back to the cleaning. As you guys can see, this thing, I washed it a week ago, maybe two. I think it was about a week ago. So you can see this front is a massive bug catcher. It collects bugs. I mean, this thing is like your bug light of cars. So we covered bugs, we covered headlights. The windshield wipers and seeing out's good. One complaint I do have is that there's not really much room up on the front windshield for mounting a dash cam. You can put it on that side of the mirror if you want it there, but I didn't want it on the driver's side. I ended up having to put it on the passenger side. As you guys can see, it's kind of in the passenger view. Don't really care, because I don't sit on the passenger side. I mostly use this thing for driving to and from work, so I can't say anything negative about that. Back to the interior of the car. The interior is actually very nice. It's very comfortable. I do have the heated and ventilated seats. I also went through and I bought the Sun and Sound package. So I have the Bose speakers, which work very well. So I don't have any complaints there. So everything works good on that side of it. The sound is very good. So I don't have any complaints with that. It's a very comfortable car. I have no issues with that. It is not a car like the Vet. It does not drive and act like the Vet, because it's not built to be like that. Like I said, it does have the sunroof with the Sun and Sound. So we're gonna go ahead and sit in here. So here's a view of the startup screen. I turned off the startup sounds, which is cool. I do like that you can do that. It's just kind of things I shut the door and opened it. we'll turn it on. We'll let it boot up. I did wire my dash cam in, so that way it is wired in with keyed on power, so I can turn it on and off when I start the car. Don't have to worry about anything there. The rear view mirror is kind of cool because, as you guys can see right now, you can see my reflection. So we're going to go ahead and flip it, and it goes to the camera in the rear. So that's always a good thing if you guys have a lot of stuff in the car. You can actually view on the back. It looks better, I think, on the camera than it does to me. When I'm sitting here looking at it right now, if I look around the camera, it looks like a TV. Which is pretty cool because, I mean, you can see back there and you can see out the back and it sees pretty good. At nighttime, it's not the best thing because it does show the headlights and you get the halo ring around the headlights. So I usually just use the regular rear view mirror all the time. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the other features the car has, as such as the Super Cruise and the adaptive cruise control. Super Cruise is good, but the problem is with the Super Cruise is it's very limited on the roads you can use it on. This does not get the full update that GM is coming out with for the 23 year. This thing only gets, respectively, 20,000 miles from everything I could read and find out with the Super Cruise. So it is not getting the full 200,000 miles that all the other GM products are getting. With that being said, the Super Cruise, if you do not buy a Bolt, costs you money to use after your trial runs out. The 23 Bolts, or at least this particular car, when I bought it, it did come with 3 years free of the Super Cruise. I don't know if it, because I bought it in the year 22, even though it's a 23 model year car. I did buy it in 22, so I don't know if I fell into the offerings of the 22 years or if it's something that they're continuing on for the 23 model year. With that being said, if I had to pay for it, I think it's something like $15-20 a month. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I don't have to pay for it. So I do have the Super Cruise for free for 3 years from when I bought it, which is nice. As far as would I actually pay for it, no. It's a cool thing, but I don't think I would pay for it in the long run because I can only use it for about 25% of my daily driving, if that. It's more like 15 to 20%. It's a cool feature. It works good for the most part. There's some areas that it's very sporadic. It's like broken up, I guess is the best way to say it, where it works some and it doesn't work. So that's hit or miss. It's good if you do a lot of traveling on like a toll road or something like that, where you can set it and let it go. I have used it on some of the toll roads down here where it's a half an hour, 45 minutes on one road, and you don't, it's the same speed. You set it and you just let the car drive itself. It's really cool. It adjusts your speed. Love that. Now, with the adaptive cruise, adaptive is pretty cool too. It works good. I do a lot of my driving with cruise control because a lot of my roads are single lane roads that are not divided, so the Super Cruise doesn't work. So I can set and adjust the cruise. I don't think I can set it now. Yeah, I'm not moving. So you can see up there where it turns on and off. You can see what happens when you try Super Cruise. I see that message a lot because it's very hit or miss on the roads that it does work on. And like I said, it's broken up on some of the roads. It's a mile, you have Super Cruise, and it kicks off for 25 feet, and then it kicks back on. It's like light on it, light off, light on, light off. So it's very disappointing with that because it's not as supported as like a Tesla. Tesla will self-drive itself fully. You know, my buddy showed me his Tesla. He had it parked in the driveway. He plugged in his address from my driveway, and the car pulled up to the road, pulled out on the road, started driving itself. He didn't have to do anything. So, that is what it is. I mean, this is not a Tesla. This is not a, $60,000, $70,000 car. This is This car had an MSRP of $38,350 with the options I got, which include Super Cruise, Sun and Sound, and illuminated charging port, red line package. So, back to this thing. The adaptive cruise control, it works very well. I do like it. One thing I don't like is when driving with it, if you have a car in front of you and the car turns off to a turn lane to either left or right, the car still assumes the vehicle in front of you is going to come back in the road, and it slows down for that car that's now on the shoulder, which you got to watch because you're going to get hit if you're not watching. So that's one of them things that's like, ugh. Besides that, overall, it's pretty good. It does have auto high beam, which is controlled by this switch. I think it shows up there somewhere. Maybe not because the headlights aren't on, but it usually shows. So I guess if I turn the lights on, so you can see the headlight logo's on. I guess it doesn't work because it's during the day. So, anyway, I put it back on automatic light control. So I'd have to show you guys another time at night, but you can turn auto high beams on and off. It works pretty good for the most part. It does have an issue with street lights sometimes, and then also highly reflective road signs. It likes to kick the high beams on and off depending on the size of the road sign and, you know, location of it, I guess, and how the road's done. So it's hit or miss on that. Overall, it's not a bad thing. It works good for what it's supposed to. It does have the additional regen paddle up here. I do leave the car in 1 foot driving all the time. So I always am using regenerative braking. Some people say don't, some people say do. I do. I'm not worried. So the next thing we're going to talk about here is I'm going to talk about, I guess I could talk about energy features and stuff, but this is all pretty much basic for most of the cars. I can set charging level, I can adjust it up or down. It shows how much energy gets used, where it's getting used. It does show details on driving, like right now I'm sitting in the car with just climate control on. So that's not too bad. Let's see. It does have wireless CarPlay. So my phone's now connected up to my car, so I can do wireless CarPlay if I want it. And it does have a wireless charger, which works pretty good for the most part. It does not like thick cases, and it fights you with thick cases. And the phone does get hot while doing that. So you gotta watch too. If your battery's really low, it wants to try to charge it quick, so it gets hot. One thing I do hate, and I don't know why the designers did this, is they put your traction control button right here in the middle. So I hit it so much because I like to place my phone down there, and I hit it with my thumb when I'm setting my phone down. So I turn it on and off all the time. I don't know why they did it, but that's how they did it. They made this nice little nifty key holder, which the key doesn't really fit down in there smooth. It kind of sits up at an angle. It's not much use for anything. I honestly use it to hold my Bluetooth earbuds because I got a cheap set. And I'm always putting them in there because I carry them with work. And that's a good place so I can find them the next day, and I always have them with me. They tend to stay in there pretty good, don't move around. The climate control is good and bad. One thing I hate is you cannot change your vent on this. I haven't figured it out yet. There's got to be a way to do it. I got to read the manual. Haven't done it yet. But if you want to change it, you got to hit the climate button, and you can select your feet, you know, all that. It does do defrost, which works out well, but I can't select from my feet or my feet or my face without bringing this up. You can do everything else. You can turn off the heated seats. You can turn off, let's say, the steering wheel right now is on. It does have a feature to turn it on depending on temperature. So on startup, you get your heated seats and your heated chair on startup automatically. And it does the same for the passenger side. It will turn on heat or the ventilated seats depending on temperature. So it does do that, which is pretty cool. I do like that. There's not too much else I could think with that. With the app side, it does not support the changing of temperature through the remote start on the app. When I first got the car, it did have it, and then it lost it, and I didn't know why, so I contacted GM. And long story short, I was told that it is no longer a supported feature in the Bolts. It is in other vehicles and other GM vehicles, but the Bolt and the Bolt EUV is no longer supported. So if you have it and it works, awesome, you're lucky. I had it, it stopped working, and that's what I was told by OnStar and GM people. So I do not have OnStar, I do not pay for it because they don't offer the app. Now, you do have nav built in this, but the nav does not work because it is a feature you need to pay monthly subscription for. Which I don't see the point in doing that because I have the Apple CarPlay and it's wireless and I use Waze on my phone. So there's no need for me to pay an additional cost to use the nav built into this when I have my phone with me all the time. So that's not a big deal there to me. It is what it is. We'll go over here and we'll look at the seats. I did get the red line package, which is cool because you get a black leather seats with red stitching, and with the car being I guess a premier model or whatever, it's a higher model, I do have the heated and ventilated seats in the front, and I have rear heated seats too. With the red line package, back to that, you get red pinstriping in the doors on the both front and back, and you do have the heated seats on the rear. As I was saying, I did get the Sun and Sound package because I wanted the Bose speakers. To me, the Bose speakers have a lot more bass and I'm trying to find a good way of saying this. There's a lot more to the sound. There's a lot more depth to the sound that the speakers have by having the Bose. So I think that was worth it to me. Now, you can buy a base model car and upgrade the speakers, I guess, and put better speakers in it so you don't have the Sun and Sound package. It'll probably be less. But I don't want to buy my car and take it somewhere and have somebody else do stuff to it. Back to the sunroof. The one thing I do love with it is you have this cover, which is pretty cool. You can open it and set it at different points like that, or you can fully open it. Maybe you're lucky. So we'll scroll around, and you get a very nice sunroof. It's a big sunroof. They do have issues with the seals coming off. I haven't had it happen yet, but I haven't had the sunroof open that much. So hopefully I won't have the issue and they fixed it for my car. But it does happen, and sometimes you have to go back and get it fixed. So it happens. But I like the fact that you want it halfway like that for your rear passengers and just on the front, you can do that. Or you can have it fully closed. Usually it's an auto button. I guess I held it too long before. So I usually drive with it like that a lot to just keep the sun out of the car. Let's see how. Get my camera turned around. It is not a bad car, I don't think. I'm wondering if I'm gonna lose the video again. I don't think so. Let's go back outside and we'll talk some more about the other features with the car. I can show you guys the paint now on this. So in the dark, it looks like a flat black, not a flat black, but a regular gloss black. But in the sun, you can see the high metallic content in the paint. Really a cool color. I like the color, but like I said, it's very hard to keep clean. We're gonna look at the back trunk. It does have proximity on the trunk, which is cool, so you don't need to unlock it to open the trunk. You just need to have your key on you. It does have a big trunk area. Comes with this nice little shade so people can't see what's in your trunk. It does not have the room in the rear tire area like on some of the other cars. It has a lower shelf, which is cool. They give that to you. But with this one, because it's got the Super Cruise, you can see where my charger is, and you can see the Super Cruise computer starts here. It goes from here forward. So there's not room in the back for anything besides your charger, pretty much. I have my charger and a spare tire inflator down there. You do have the lower shelf for storage of stuff, which is cool. You got a thick upper shelf that you can put stuff, which is nice. You can order a cargo net option, which goes from there to the other side. I guess a cargo net, one of the how should I describe it? The bungee cord things that you put stuff in. So that is there. You can get that. It's an option. I don't have it. The car does like to get dirty, like I was saying. That's my biggest pet peeve with this thing, is it gets dirty all over. It does like to collect dirt. You can see when you open the back door how it collects all the dirt. I cleaned this like 2 weeks ago, and I need to clean it again. But the red line continues on to the back. You can see the back door panels have it. The rear seats have it too, the black leather. And you do have heated rear seats. Yes, I do know that panel is a different color. The dealership has ordered me a new one, and they're getting it. You can really see it good in this video. Somehow I got one blue piece out of it all. Not really sure how, but I did. So, one thing I don't care for too much, but I really can't change anything with it, is the tail lights. So the lower lights are your brake light, and you do have a third brake up there. These middle ones are just running. You can modify it if you wanted them to come on with your brake lights, but then they don't work. The lights work all the time, but during nighttime when your running lights are on, they do not brake. In my state, that will cause me to fail inspection, so I'm not going to do that. It is what it is. It was approved that way by DOT, I guess. Good enough for me. One thing to think about is your driving with doing it is, if you do a lot of driving, like with me, with my mileage, I'm doing like 85, 90 miles a day. I had to put in a level 2 charger. So that way, you know, with a work week, at the end of the week, I wasn't low on charge. I could charge it up, but like each day I was getting less and less and less, to the point where I was at the end of the week, I didn't have enough. So I had to put in a level 2 charger. I do like the Clipper Creek chargers. They're very good, very simple chargers. That's why I want it. No internet connection needed. You just plug it in and it works. You don't need to set up anything. You don't need to do anything. It's a very simplistic charger, which I really like. You can get a tax, or not a tax credit. My electric company offers a rebate if I got a charge point charger where I can connect it up with Wi-Fi with connectivity and set it up to charge at certain times, non-peak hours. But with that being said, I didn't feel like spending the money for it. So I didn't feel like doing that and having them have control over my charger. The car handles very well. It's a very nice car. It's not as fast as the Corvette, but it is fast, and it is an enjoyable car. Now, the big question that a lot of people ask is it worth to go buy one of these? Very hard question to answer, because this car here, fully optioned, MSRP was $38,350. So is it worth it to buy? Well, that depends on your situation and how long you plan to keep the car, and a whole bunch of other things. As far as my saving goes, what I save on fuel by driving that versus the Vet or the Land Rover, the savings on fuel actually pays for the insurance of the car. So it's a benefit that way. But the actual overall cost of it is very hard to say, because they're not cheap cars, for cost of a new car, but you do get a very nice car when you buy it. So, I mean, it's a very cool car. It's a very fun car. It's an enjoyable car to drive. It does have a lot of pep. Does have a lot of get up and go. It does have a lot of features that make it very nice. So I really don't know what to tell you on that, to say if it's worth it or not, because it's very hard to say that, because everybody's different. For me, in the long run, with how I got mine, because I had a 21, and long story short, I was able to trade it in and got a good offer. So yes, I guess you could say it was. I guess you could say I traded